What do all these stars have in common? They all studied acting with one man, Gary Spatz, founder of The Playground, the best on-camera acting school for kids and teens in Hollywood.
Hi, I'm Gary Spatz. I'm the director of the Young Actors Conservatory, The Playground. And today I'm going to share with you a story about the golden age of Hollywood, really a secret that I believe will help your child study better in school. Well, I was working with adults first. I was teaching adults, which was fine, but one summer I had an opportunity to work with kids and it was an epiphany. I mean, I had such a joyous experience. A woman hired me to work at her school and teach full-time because she saw how the kids related to me. That was almost 30 years ago. So I was teaching kids acting, the craft of acting, and one day there was an opportunity for a couple of my students to audition for the movie named Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. And I went down there with them when they screen tested, and the director, Joe Johnson, who's gone on to do Captain America and various other movies, asked me to stick around and coach the other kids who were auditioning for Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. And they wound up utilizing two of my students, and they asked me if I would be the acting coach on the set. I never worked on a set before, and I just assumed Disney had their own acting coaches. They did not, and it was an amazing opportunity, so I jumped at it. That's what got me in the door of actually working on sets, was Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, which became a huge hit for Disney, turned them around. That begot working on the Roseanne show, which was a #1 show, and I was working Sister Sister with Tia and Tamara, and the Jeff Foxworthy show with young Jonathan Lipnicki before Jerry Maguire fame, most adorable kid you can imagine, and Haley Joel Osment, who pound for pound has got to be one of the best actors going, and just working all these various shows and pilots at the same time teaching classes. But during one summer hiatus break from Roseanne, Disney had asked me to fly to Orlando and help do the new Mickey Mouse Club kids, this ensemble of amazing youngsters they wanted to put together for this show they were doing, this variety show, the new Mickey Mouse Club. So I thought, okay, it's something to do over my summer vacation, and it was something like that. I was a camp counselor and an acting teacher and a coach all at the same time, because part of my mandate was to help to select the kids that would make up this ensemble of truly gifted group of youngsters, and maintain the group so that there were no stars, that everybody was working together, playing together. One day they might be the lead in the music video, the next day they might be singing backup, or the lead in the sketch, or have just one line. We were putting on a variety show, something like Carol Burnett meets Saturday Night Live. But at the same time, Disney recognized that as gifted as these children were, they were adolescents and they needed to be developed. So in my mind, they used the same template they did in the old studio system back in the MGM days, the 1930s and 40s, with young Elizabeth Taylor and Van Johnson and Mickey Rooney, where they would have their contract players taking classes in elocution and acting and singing and dancing and how to deal with the press. And all these skills they would give their kids to develop them while they were under contract. Well, that's what Disney was doing with young Justin Timberlake and Ryan Gosling and Christina Aguilera and Britney Spears and Kerry Russell, and the list goes on. But these extraordinary performers were giving classes every day, singing classes, dance classes, acting classes. At the same time, we were putting on a variety show. We were also working with them on developing their persona, because after all, in the show, they had to be the hosts. So Christina had to be Christina and had to talk to guests coming on the show and other kids. And honestly, as amazing a singer as she was a rather shy girl, and it wasn't her part of her skill set back then to open up and be comfortable just talking to people on the set under the bright lights. So that was a whole skill set that we had to develop for these kids, just the ability to be the hosts of the Mickey Mouse Club. At the same time, we are developing their acting and singing and dancing. So I felt that just much like the farm system they had back in the old MGM studio days that the Dodgers use now, no studios have used it since, but this was the last of it, the Mickey Mouse Club. And I think it's proven itself valuable because of look at the kids who have come out of that, who are now the tops of the industry. And even the ones that you may not have heard of are very successful in various aspects of their life. Some are still in the business, one's an attorney, but they've learned communication skills, how to look somebody in the eye and connect and articulate their thoughts. All these kind of communication skills are part of the craft of acting. And what I think is so invaluable about what we do as teachers when we're communicating these skills to our clients. It's not just to create professional performers. It's also to give them the ability when they go out in the real world to really listen to each other, to be able to stand up in any venue, in a classroom situation, and be able to speak their mind and feel relaxed about doing it without getting all shook up. I mean, I think this is invaluable for any kid to have this kind of background and should have a ripple effect in their life, no matter what path they take. I don't care if they sell flowers, become architects, they're gonna have to communicate with somebody. And these days, most of the kids, because of technology, their heads are in screens. And I'm not knocking the technology, that's what they grow up with, but I know we're losing something truly valuable. And that's the ability to look somebody in the eye and really communicate your thoughts, really speak from the heart and say what you mean. And that's what acting is. That's what the craft of acting is all about. So once again, as we were developing these gifted kids back in Orlando in the Mickey Mouse Club era, I could see the lessons they were learning would be something that I could utilize one day to create my own playground and thereby have a facility that could nurture and help these kids grow into the kind of successful people that I know their parents want them to be. Well, part of the curriculum at the playground is focus and concentration and listening. And all these are connected through the improvisational exercises that we do, where we get the kids to play together, get them to work out certain scenarios and listen to one another. At the same time, we have them memorizing short scenes and commercials and monologues. And by giving them these building blocks, these muscles to work on, really, the muscles of memorization, the muscle of concentration and focus, but you do it all in the spirit of creative play. So they're getting better at studying, memorization, focus, concentration. And I've seen this happen over and over again, where parents have come to me and said, my kid's doing so much better in school. Their focus is so much better. They're raising their hand in class. The teachers commented on how much better they're doing in their studies. So I know this stuff works, these skills that we work on in class, and how it has a ripple effect with every child that comes here. Quite a few students come here shy, reserved, maybe lacking in certain self-confidence. Again, I find through the use of creative play with other kids their age, them starting to come out of this. All kids love to play. You just have to create a structure and a safe, nurturing environment where they're not feeling they're going to be judged. And through play, they're enjoying it and they're having fun and they're coming out of themselves and they're talking to the other kids, and before they know it, they've blossomed into kids that the parents hardly recognize because they're not shy anymore. They see now they can stand up, they can hold their own with other children. I think it's a remarkable thing when you see it happen, when you see that process happen with a kid. And I've seen it happen over and over again. When it comes to making friends, and that's difficult for some kids, once they come to class here and they realize the other kids are here like themselves, they just want to play. They just want to get along. Some of them are shy just like them. But through this use of creative play, of theater games and improvisations and scripts and monologues and scene work, they begin to loosen up. They begin to realize there are other kids just like themselves that they get along with. And what it becomes is this very social situation. And a lot of times, yes, they're coming because they're enjoying working on the skill set of being an actor, but they're enjoying just as much hanging out with these other kids that they've met in class who have become friends of theirs. Sometimes they're the outcasts from their school. They're the ones that don't get along with everybody because how they express themselves is different from the other kid. But here, they're all welcome. They're unique. It's like, sure, bring it. Let's see how you express yourself. I remember Amanda Bynes, this is many years ago, okay? When she first started, 10, 11 years old, she came to class. She would come in character every time she came to class. I love that. It's like, bring it. And we would set her character inside a structure of an improv, and the other kids would play around Amanda's character. Before you knew it, she was off doing her own TV series, The Amanda Show. But I remember it started with her just having an outlet to express her creativity. And that's really what you want. You want to give these children an opportunity to express themselves and not to feel that anyone is going to put them down about it, how they look, how they sound, how they walk. That no, this is a place where you can come and play, and we welcome that. Many of the students come from a household where they speak a second language, Farsi or French or Mandarin or Spanish or what have you. And so I find that the craft of acting really enables these kids to work on their articulation exercises, their ability to look someone in the eye and express themselves in English. Whether they speak a second language or not, I think these communication skills help everybody, because this is the kind of stuff that acting is all about. It's about listening and reacting. And you can't really react to somebody unless you're really listening, really present. And that's a great skill for a child to have. And that focus and that ability to feel relaxed and be able to speak their mind, whether they're in front of the camera, on stage, in a class, raising their hand, and they feel confident enough to stand up and say what's on their mind. I think this is an enormous gift to any child, whether they speak a second language or not, that they have that confidence to articulate their thoughts. And such a big part of what we do here at the playground. If anything I've said resonates with you, I suggest you click below. This is the time of year where we select those children, preteen and teen kids to take part in our Orange County and Los Angeles playground facility. I'd like to invite you down to tour our facilities and also for a free on-camera talent evaluation. Simply click below. I know you're going to have a lot of fun, so come on down to the playground.